we're going to have before our meetings. We're going to have a little lecture on aspects of the revolution. And today, I'll speak about Samuel Gridley Howe, okay? And the president met. When Samuel Gridley Howe died on January the 9th of 1876, the United States stood on the threshold of its centennial year. It was a fitting moment for a man whose life had been devoted to the unfinished work of revolutions, American and Hellenic alike. 150 years later, in January 2026, his legacy speaks with renewed force as the Hellenic Republic marks the 205th anniversary since the outbreak of the War of Independence, and the United States prepares to commemorate 250 years since its founding. Few figures so fully embody the moral and historical dialogue between these two nations as Howe, whose life became a living bridge between liberty imagined and liberty enacted. Howe first arrived in revolutionary Alas in 1824, when the struggle for independence had entered one of its most perilous phases. The early euphoria of revolt had given way to famine, disease, internecine conflict, and economic collapse. The war was no longer sustained by heroism alone. It required organization, discipline, and humanitarian intervention. Howe came not as a soldier seeking glory, but as a physician and a graduate of Harvard, determined to serve. He treated wounded fighters, tended to civilians ravaged by hunger, and organized makeshift hospitals across a landscape devastated by years of war. In Alas, Howe joined a small but remarkable circle of Philhellenes whose commitment went far beyond romantic admiration. Among them was George Jarvis, an American from New York, who immersed himself so fully in the Hellenic cause that he adopted Hellenic dress, language, and identity, and how it embodied, and also in terms of Jarvis, fighting alongside revolutionary forces as one of their own. Of course, he was considered Capitan Zervas. That's what he was called by many. Jarvis and Howe embodied a Philhellenism rooted in sacrifice rather than spectacle. Together with other foreign volunteers, doctors, officers, engineers, and relief workers, they formed an international brotherhood animated by the belief that the Hellenic struggle was inseparable from the fate of liberty everywhere. What distinguished Howe within this circle was his ability to connect battlefield realities with transatlantic mobilization. He quickly recognized that Allah's survival depended not only on arms, but on food, clothing, medicine, and sustained international support. As famine spread and entire populations faced starvation, Howe turned to the vital work of relief and coordination, work that would save thousands of lives. During the 1820s, the United States experienced what contemporaries called Greek fever, inspired by classical education, revolutionary idealism, and vivid reports from the war. American cities became centers of Philhellenism activism. Committees for the Greek cause in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and beyond were the areas. Howe became one of the essential links between these communities and conditions on the ground in Alas. Through letters, reports, and personal appeals, he conveyed urgent needs with clarity and credibility. These Philhellenic committees organized nationwide relief campaigns collected food, clothing, blankets, tools, and medical supplies. Entire shiploads of aid crossed the Atlantic, often coordinated or facilitated by Howe, reaching a population on the brink of catastrophe. These efforts were not symbolic gestures. They prevented mass starvation, stabilized communities, and allowed the revolution to survive its darkest winters. American Philhellenism, in this sense, was materially decisive. One of the most tangible expressions of this humanitarian partnership was Washingtonia, a small settlement on the Isthmus of Corinth associated with American Philhellenic relief efforts during and immediately after the Revolution. Conceived as both refuge and experiment, Washingtonia reflected a radical belief for its time that liberation required not only victory, but recovery, not only arms, but civic space. Named deliberately after George Washington, the settlement was intended to embody the ideals of the American Revolution: self-governance, civic responsibility, and communal care transplanted into this newly liberated Hellenic soil. Howe was deeply aligned with the vision of Washingtonia and what it represented. For him, relief was not an end in itself, but the first stage of nation building. Food, clothing, and medicine could prevent collapse, but institutions, schools, clinics, organized communities were required to preserve freedom once emergency passed. Washingtonia stood on the intersection of idealism and pragmatism, mirroring Howe's own role in both revolutionary witness and institutional builder. Recent archaeological excavation and renewed scholarly attention in the Hellenic Republic have brought Washingtonia back into view, transforming what was once a footnote into a physical testament to transatlantic solidarity. Its rediscovery adds material weight to a history too often told abstractly. It confirms that American Philhellenism was not merely rhetorical or romantic, but logical, physical, and grounded in lived commitment. Washingtonia was fragile and short-lived, yet its significance endured as one of the earliest humanitarian experiments linking American Republican ideals with modern Hellenic statehood. Howe stood at the center of this humanitarian bridge. As we stated, he distributed supplies, oversaw relief operations, and worked to ensure aid reached civilians rather than vanquished into corruption or fractional misuse. We can discuss later what some of that was, by the way, when he tried to distribute something and some leftists came to try to grab it, but he basically told people to pull out their rifles so they wouldn't grab it. His first-hand knowledge of Hellenic, Hellenic suffering gave moral authority to his advocacy, and his integrity earned trust on both sides of the Atlantic. It was during this period that Hellenes came to refer to him as the Lafayette of the Greek Revolution. Like Lafayette before him, Howe crossed an ocean to serve foreign people's cause, accepted hardship without expectation of reward, and returned home transformed, carrying the spirit of one revolution into another. Yet unlike many Philhellenes who dispersed once independence appeared secure, Howe, his bond with Alas endured. He remained attentive to the nation's unfinished struggles, and decades later, during uprisings in Crete, he again mobilized relief efforts from the United States, advocating for Cretan civilians suffering under Ottoman rule. For Howe, independence was not a single historical moment, but an ongoing moral responsibility. The lessons Howe absorbed in the loss shaped every aspect of his American life. He returned home stripped of patience for injustice and deeply skeptical of moral compromise. Nowhere was it more evident than in his uncompromising commitment to abolition. Having witnessed tyranny abroad, Howe could not tolerate it at home. He rejected gradualization and political expediency, insisting that slavery was fundamentally incompatible with Republican liberty. He aligned himself with the most principled abolitionists of his age and became deeply involved in networks that aided fugitive slaves. His abolitionism carried real risk. Howe was among the small circle later known as the Secret Six, who supported John Brown in the years leading up to the raid on Harper's Ferry. Though he did not glorify violence, Howe believed that when law itself sanctioned injustice, moral responsibility transcended obedience. The same logic that had justified armed resistance against Ottoman rule now informed the judgment of American slavery. The Civil War confirmed what Howe had long believed, that nations, like individuals, ultimately pay a price for postponing moral clarity. Throughout the conflict, he devoted himself to humanitarian work, drawing directly from his experiences in the loss. He advocated for improved medical care, relief for soldiers, and protection for newly emancipated African Americans. Emancipation, in his view, was not an endpoint, but a beginning. Freedom required education, institutional support, and sustained moral commitment. This belief animated Howe's transformation work in education. As director of the Perkins School for the Blind, he rejected custodial models and insisted on dignity, intellectual rigor, and independence. Perkins became an international model, reshaping attitudes towards disability and affirming that full civic responsibility must extend to all. For Howe, this was not clarity, it was revolutionary principle applied to daily life. His marriage to Julia Ward expanded his moral universe. An abolitionist poet and later a leader of women's suffrage movement, Julia translated the era struggles into enduring language. Her Battle Hymn of the Republic, one of the most famous songs in American history, captured the spiritual gravity of the Civil War. While her post-war activism helped extend the revolutionary promise of equality to women. Together, sometimes in tension, often in mutual influence, they stood at the center of 19th century American reform. That legacy continued through their son-in-law, Michael Anagnos, a Hellenic intellectual who succeeded Howe at Perkins. Through Anagnos, the Hellenic American reform connection deepened, culminating in the education of Helen Keller and the extension of Howe's educational philosophy into the 20th century. Figures such as John Zakos, a Hellenic abolitionist and educator active in the United States, further illustrate the dense transatlantic network Howe helped animate, a community bound not by nationality alone, but by shared conscience. Seen in a fuller light, Samuel Gridley Howe belongs unmistakably at the heart of the Greek Independence Day Parade 2026 in New York, the largest parade in the world outside the Hellenic Republic. A year uniting 205 years since 1821, 250 years since 1776. His life demonstrates that the bonds between Hellas and America were forged not merely through admiration of the past, but through shared sacrifice in the present. He stands as a reminder that revolutions endure only when their ideals are renewed through action. He died in 1876 as America prepared to celebrate its centennial, its 100 years, having spent his life insisting that freedom must be sustained by unity, care, and responsibility. In Hellas, he healed bodies and sustained hope. In America, he confronted slavery, shaped emancipation's aftermath, transformed education, and expanded the meaning of civic belonging. 150 years ago, 150 years after his passing, which is this month, and with Washingtonia once again emerging from the Hellenic soil, Samuel Gridley Howe remains a testament to what becomes possible when nations recognize themselves in one another's struggle, and when ideas and ideals are carried not only in words, but in deeds. Zito Elas, and God bless America. Thank you for this miniature applause by thousands of ladies.
Very elegant. Very elegant, yes. Very elegant.
Okay, we will say a couple of things, and you can. How much time do we have before 7 o'clock? Okay. Okay. Well, we should say a couple of things. Like when we were talking about that supplies came into Greece, which you know better than anybody because you wrote the book on it. When he was distributing supplies, actually some of the leaders came and they wanted to take the supplies for their men, not for the supplies to go to the people. Kolokotronis was a major guy, by the way, who came with his people and said, "Give me all that stuff that you're bringing in here." However, let's not worry about this. However, he told the people to pull out, the people were there to pull out guns, etc. Whoever came near that stuff, that they would get shot. The Kolokotronis decided to back off. Is that correct?
Jarvis.
I'm sorry,
Jarvis was the military protector of the supplies, and between him and Howe, they called upon the ships to make sure that they could intimidate the crooks from stealing supplies. And one American ship was actually pillaged, and they stole the supplies, and they sold them on the black market.
Okay, my friend here is going to be doing the next lecture next week.
And mine will be general about the revolution in America, based on the book that you told me I should talk about.
Yes, absolutely. And this is
you should have mentioned Jonathan Peckham Miller, because there were three. The trio.
No, I know. But I'm going to do something separate on the abolitionists themselves, Miller, all these guys. And also the Hellenic abolitionists, those that came to the United States and were abolitionists, including Zappos and others. We're going to do the following, because it's not appropriate for us to have lectures and nobody listens to them. I'm going to have Stavro send out the copies of the lecture so everybody can get it. Okay, so they can read exactly what's going on, so they can know something about their history. Because that's what we're going to do.
If you want to expand it and add, some notes, I'll publish it in the next Aki Issues Journal.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to take a break now, and we're going to start exactly at 7.
Okay.
Beautiful.
It is what it is.
Eloquently said. I discovered something that you might be interested in. The idea of a colony, an American state, was originally proposed by Jarvis. We have a letter, we have something in writing by him proposing something similar.
When do we do Jarvis?
Down the line, we could do one on Jarvis.
What was his first name? George? What was Jarvis's first name?
George.
George. His family was from New York.
Huh? No, not yet, because we don't have. No, of course not.
have to sit down and figure that out. But we're gonna definitely have something every week. Okay, I had something to do with this week, it wasn't ready, so I had to put this together in a couple of days.
So
But it doesn't matter, we will do a lecture.
He gave me a week's notice, so I'll do it next week. Also add, the American Hospital in Florence.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're talking about for
How?
yeah.
For how?
Yeah. Actually, we should do something on Porus anyway, because Porus had some interesting, that was a naval base, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and also,
And didn't Jarvis, where did he land? He was in Porus.
he was in Porus. Porus was one of the bases where everybody came from.
Exactly.
And there were a lot of American connections in Porus.
I think, memory serves me correct, the Russians were there too.
The Russians were all over Greece.
Okay, so we're gonna start in a few minutes, our meeting.
And something else that you might be interested in, Coach. I discovered some articles that Howe wrote when he came back to the United States. And he wrote them anonymously. And he published them in newspapers in Boston.
You know, I saw some correspondence between him and. The black abolitionist guy.
Oh, I know what you mean, not the boys,
No, not the boys.
what are the early ones, yeah.
The famous one.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll have our meeting, and what we'll do is we'll create the news articles based on what happened, and we'll send it to the newspaper so they know. This was a, jam-packed event.
They'll do an AI and put people in.
Hey, Lou, you have 5 minutes or 2 minutes?
Huh? How many minutes do we have?
6.
No, we have to start at 7 exactly.
And Howe also published the first American history of the Greek Revolution.
Yes, he did.
Do you have a copy?
No. I don't have a copy.
Someone like you should have it.
I know, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've seen it, you can get it free on the internet. You can actually.
That's possible. I haven't checked. I have an original, and Archdiocesan published a critical edition of half of it
Okay.
in the 1960s.
What do you need some of those? They can select revolts. I think what I think what I'll do is I'll do a lecture on the Afro revolution, only revolutions, but rebellions. Yeah. No, you gotta follow. See you later. Yeah. Never too late. Well, we needed some photos too. What we'll do is, when we have the meeting, what we'll do is we'll take a photo of myself over here, making like I'm doing the speech. And then we'll take a photo with anybody that's here. We'll all be together, make like, these were some of the people at the event. We're not going to take a photo of who's sitting at the seat.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
The weather doesn't help.
No, it's a bad day. As a matter of fact, I got a few phone calls from people. Some people were meeting with the Council General today, the young people. Some people were in Florida today. Some people were sick today. Some people were.
You must have the extremely understanding. Because I know that from here, you have to go all the way up to Lafayette Center.
That's correct, yes.
You said you're gonna take the train.
I don't know if I'm gonna take the train or I'm gonna take an Uber. I mean, last week I took an Uber.
It's not a short trip.
Yeah, let's get started on everybody else. And what we'll do on the key is we'll take a couple of pictures, we'll put together a news article, et cetera, send it out to the different publications. What a great meeting, blah, blah, blah. What I tell them is, well, I'll have Stavo send out the speech, okay, so everybody has it.
Okay.
And then we'll do what we have to do. You know, we're gonna do media Saturday. What's happening?
Hello, how are you?
Excellent.
My name is Nick. I'm the president of St. John's Humanities Society.
Oh, wow, man.
How are you?
Excellent.
Good to see you.
You came on a.
Yes, remember I came when Jimmy Canamaras is very close to us. He's the vice president of Holy Trinity.
Oh,
My mother's the president, so we know him very well.
oh, excellent.
You're from St. John's
St. John's, yeah.
University?
St. John's University, please, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, you must know John Streetikes. You sure? He's head of the foreign language department. He's been here since the 1970s. And Greek language was taught in his department.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, when you go back,
Yes, make sure. Yeah. Thank you.
you've been there a long time. I'm a research associate at St. John's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know St. John's.
Okay.
So you have a Greek club now? At St. John's? Good. Excellent. Do you have a faculty sponsor?
We do.
That's St. Louis.
Professor St. Louis.
In what department?
Philosophy.
Philosophy. Okay.
What happened to Yanni?
No, he was in the office there.
No, I don't see him.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely reach out to him.
And he's been there since the 70s, so he's probably the guy who's been the longest.
Nice. You need anything?
That's the VP.
Absolutely.
St. John's is one of the friendliest universities in Hawaii. Very nice bunch of people.
Yeah.
They do.
And where is Dimo? Is Dimo here?
Being honest too.
Where are you? Yeah, we're ready to start.
I could do better with best answers.
Okay, so we're gonna start the meeting because we always start at 7 o'clock, no matter what the story is. We had really a fantastic meeting, I thought, last week with the committee members, and a lot was accomplished. Very good meeting. Today there's less people actually that were in our committee meetings, which weren't even public, but it doesn't matter. It's a rough day. So let's just go over a few things. We'll take any questions you may have. But just some announcements. Tomorrow is all the organizations are having an event at the Haiti Center near the cathedral. You know, the cathedral in Manhattan on 74th Street. So for those of you who are interested in going, you're welcome to go as our guest. It starts about 6:30, I think, right, Jim? 6:30. If you guys are around in Manhattan, come to this event. It's like a fantastic event. Okay, all the organizations will be there, the professional organizations. You'll have one of the ministers from Greece will be there. The lady who represents the diaspora abroad will be there. The Council General will be there.
And there's a young professionals after.
Yes, and then there's a young professionals event afterwards. Okay, so it's going to be it's going to be a very exciting scenario. So let me just briefly go over some of the stuff, and then what we'll do is we'll take a couple of photos, and what we're going to do is write the newspaper article of this event that happened today, both the speech that we did earlier and at the same time, some of the things that we're going to talk about, including the gala, okay, which is extremely important. So I think I'm going to start a little bit with the gala. If you can, John, just say a few words about it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to, even though Paul Makropoulos said that he's going to be by the first table, he didn't come with a check, and he's in Florida. So I'm going to give the first check today for the gala, for a table for the gala. And we're going to start off the scenario. So, John, you want to bring us up to date here? Yeah.
So thank you for those that actually showed up. It shows your love and dedication for the Federation and having a successful parade. I know it's very tough with the weather and work. Anyway, so we started off with a beautiful lecture, and we're going to get right into the juicy part, which is the gala. It's the day before the parade, April 25th. The contracts have been executed. We have committed to 400 people, but we hope we're going to be many more. We already started with several commitments, and as Mr. Katsos said, he's going to be the first benefactor, so we're going to open that up and make him the first benefactor of the event. Thank you, Lou. Like you said, Makropoulos are Buddhists. A lot of people are very enthusiastic, and they'll be here next week with their check. We're also doing a couple of different things this year. We're trying to tie in the young professionals. So we know these events are very costly. It's $500 event. What we're doing for the young professionals this year, it's going to be $200.
Guys in the back, keep quiet. Do me a favor. Can you get Stavro a second? Get Stavro. Bring him inside.
We're going to do a young professionals ticket, which is going to be open bar the entire duration and appetizers. We want you guys to come in and enjoy the music, dancing, and festivities. This year is going to be a lot different. It's going to be not only lectures and all that. We're going to do the lecture in the beginning, but we wanted it to be cafe. So we booked an excellent band and DJ, and hopefully there'll be some more surprises. So everything's on base, April 25th. Spread the word. We want your friends, family, organizations to commit to this event. Thank you.
All right, let's get started over here a second. All right. So we're going to take. So I'm going to give the first check. I've got the check here. I see my friend Chris is over here, and he can deposit it for us. Where's Stop?
We're going to take a picture with the check.
Okay.
Leave a big picture.
Okay, let's take a picture of the check. Peter, join us. Okay. So I'm getting a platinum. Okay, so I'm doing a $20,000 first check. Take a picture of the check. Hold on a second. No. See, come on.
I don't need to be in picture.
No, you have to. Take off that coat. What is it?
It's good. It's good.
Oh, okay. No, I like pictures.
I'll take pictures.
No. But you're the treasure. You're the supreme. Hold it. Come here. Come here.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. Okay. We'll write it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
All
starting it
right.
off.
Who's going to deposit the
To
check?
me, and I give it to him. There you go.
Excellent. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Katsos.
Okay. So we're starting strong. We're not starting weak. Not the $6,000 thing, but we got the $20,000. That's right. We're not going to screw around. Okay. Excellent. All right. Let's see what else we got. Hold on a second. Stavro, let me ask you a question. Let's start. Hold on a second. Did Stavro make did Stavro do the tickets? The lottery tickets? Stavro, did we print the lottery tickets?
But they're not here yet. They told me because they lost the day due to the weather on Monday, they couldn't deliver them today.
When are they going to be delivered?
Tomorrow.
Another success! We said in January we're doing it. Yeah, another success. Okay, so we coordinated with John all the prices, okay, for all the different categories.
including the tables, etc., the young professionals, etc. So all that will go out hopefully in the next couple of days or so. And tomorrow also, I said, by the way, I'm Boriden Arfide, Avio. It's a big deal at the Shakti Center in Manhattan. All the organizations will be there, and it's a great event. At the same time, because we want to do it the right way, we're going to announce tomorrow who the grand marshals will be for the parade. They'll be announced tomorrow in front of everybody, because that's what we want to do. We don't want to keep silent, because this is not our parade, it's everybody's parade. It's not only the Federation, it's all the organizations. With that, Peter, a few words?
Just very briefly regarding the journal, we're gaining momentum. The form's been printed out, although once the grand marshals are going to be announced, I think Lou wants to redesign it, so we're going to reissue the journal form so that people get a little more excited about when they sign up for the journal. So, but people who do it every year, please get your ads in sooner than later. Don't make us chase you. My committee is getting formed, and we're going to be reaching out in a systematic fashion to make sure we get everybody who's done it in previous years, and then find new people. So I really appreciate it, and thanks for every support from everyone. Thank you.
Okay, just also to make everybody understand and elaborate on what was just discussed. On the journal ads, etc., we're going to put on the material itself who the grand marshals are. Okay, because that's very important. At the same time, in our gala, we're going to indicate who the grand marshals are. Okay, because it's very important for us to acknowledge them appropriately. Among the other things, you have some information for us, correct?
I have some information regarding the registrations.
Okay.
It started coming in,
Excellent.
so there is nobody from the press here to.
It doesn't matter. We're going to create our own article and we'll send it to the press.
Well, we have 12 or 13 actually registrations. We have some Basil Academy, Orthodox PG Greek Orthodox Church
Excellent.
from the Bronx, the Greek Orthodox Church of St. Eleftherios in Manhattan, the Greek Orthodox Church of Our Savior in Rye, the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church in Manhattan, the St. Nicholas Church and National Shrine, the St. Nicholas Church from Flushing, the Greek Orthodox Community of St. Demetrius Mary, and the Holy Trinity St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church from Staten Island, and the Holy Trinity from Bridgeport, Hannah, and Annunciation West Side. So these are the registrations up to now. Canena syllabus, just churches. Where are our syllabi? I don't know.
No, it's okay. Fantastic. Can I get a copy?
Sure.
Okay. Give me a copy. I'll say about the electronics. The forms, everything is electronic.
Everything is online. Everything is online. People should look at their emails, and I'll repeat sending the same information on the email, because I know that people lose emails, forget to see them later. So they can all register online. If anybody has a problem, then they can let us know. They can call the office, and I will help them along. Okay, but that method helps us, deposit the money directly to the bank and make it much easier. Keep track of everything. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, the other thing that was resolved last week also is the Hellenic Dance Weekend. Hold on a second, guys. What was resolved last week was the Hellenic Dance Weekend, and it's going to be March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. There's a whole series of events that are going to take place, and we'll have further information on that also, and that will also be online. So it's going to be a 3-day event, and that's been resolved. We're going to do it as a joint venture
So the Federation will be part of this joint venture with the dance groups, etc., that are being assembled. When we met last week, they gave us the budget for this, and you have a copy, Peter, of the budget, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So that's going pretty well. The other thing is we finalized the proposal for the Bridging Revolutions boat event. That's all resolved. We have all the costs for that. Peter has a copy also of the costs. And we also have a donation against that event of $3,000 by a Heptadelphi 25 for that event. The total cost of that, we're going to end up somewhere about $18,000 or so. And we're going to get the sponsors for that particular event. That event, again, is going to be by invitation only. That particular event, in terms of invitations, will go out obviously to people who are buying particular categories of gala tables, and at the same time, as I indicated, that the volunteers who have helped throughout the process will be invited to that event by invitation. I also met with the just to talk about who's going to be at those different scenarios. We had lunch yesterday with the Consul General and also the deputy of Greeks abroad, let's say, of the diaspora abroad. And we had asked the Consul General to work with us to send all the appropriate correspondence to the Consul Generals and ambassadors that are at the UN to join us in this particular parade of their people who fought in the revolution of 1821. So that's going to happen also. We'll put that together, and they'll be among the invitees. Also, the invitees will be people, obviously, who are the Grand Marshals, who you'll find out who they are tomorrow, and volunteers. Now, in terms of volunteers is not sitting on your behind coming to meetings. Volunteers, in my book, are people who do stuff, and many of you have done a lot of stuff, and obviously you're going to be invited. The ones who are just passive so-called volunteers hanging out, etc., they want the titles, etc., they're not going to be part of the process. They're not going to be part of the volunteer scenario. The other thing is, so the date of that particular boat trip will be the Friday in the week before the parade, whatever that date is. That'll be the thing. And then at the same time, I'm going to have an invitation event at the Russian Tea Room by invitation only. And again, the same people that I mentioned will be invited. That'll be a cocktail celebration. It'll be a fantastic time, and we're going to do that on Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesday, March. We're going to do it in March. I'm not sure if it's the 18th, maybe on that Wednesday. All right. So we got those particular events lined up. Let's just see what else we got here. Dance competition. Dominique, if you can, tell us all the fantastic things that you've done recently with regards to the Manto Mavrogenous Competition. Dominique.
Good evening and welcome from me as well. What Lou was referring to, the Manto Mavrogenous competition, there has been some talk of late, controversy of naming Miss Greek Independence as a pageant, because it kind of gives a different, a wrong connotation to the type of competition that it is. It was always based on the knowledge that you have of the Greek independence movement. And so Lou thought that the Manto Mavrogenous competition would be more appropriate. In any case, we have sent flyers and applications out. We have we have interest from a lot of different girls from different social media pages. We have one application that was returned to us. I expect a lot more coming in this week. We also have the theme set in Greek and in English for the essay competition that we started last year, and that's ready to go out. We usually work with the person in charge of education from the consular office and sends out an email blast to all the schools, which will also go out next week, and Stavro helps us by sending it out to all the societies. That is addressed to 13-year-olds, the 8th grade level of all the Greek schools. And so all the ball is rolling on all of those. Thank you.
How exciting is that? All these things are so positive. For the press that came late, there was a lecture on Samuel Gridley Howe that was excellent, quite frankly, even though you weren't there. But what we're going to do is we're going to send out the lecture so you can have a copy of it. You came late again. The first check for the gala, $20,000 came in. We took photos. You guys weren't here, so you don't have any photos. We'll send you photos about that. Also, you missed the beginning of this event. And again, we'll put together press releases of everything that you missed. Because Stavro also read the registrations, which are phenomenal for this period of time. We don't care about the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We care about America and the Federation of Hellenic Societies of Greater New York. Yes. Okay, here's what Dr. Key is talking about. In the past, we would have this Miss Greek Independence. Okay, Miss Greek Independence for the modern age doesn't sound good. You know what I'm saying? Like beauty contests, etc. So what we're doing is we're taking one of the foremost heroines of the revolution, Manto Mavrogenous. No one sacrificed more than Manto for the revolution. A wealthy lady gave her whole fortune. She took her fortune and had ships made, etc. to fight in the revolution. She unfortunately became penniless. One of the great tragedies of the revolution is what happened to Manto, among other people, which I'll mention in the future when we do these things. So, what a fantastic thing, rather than call it Miss Greek Independence, but have the competition named after Manto Mavrogenous. And by the way, what we'll do is we'll put a little background history, etc., about Manto, who was the most amazing woman on the face of the Hellenic planet.
The controversy and the objection hasn't been about Miss Greek Independence.
No,
But the word pageant is what.
Listen. A lot of these beauty pageants, etc. This is it. This is it, man. Manto Mavrogenous. Anyway, with that. We'll have questions. You'll ask questions at the end. With that, we have our education director here with us, who's going to say a few words about the amazing work that he's been doing. Tell us about it. Yeah.
Not very amazing, but we have a meeting set up after this meeting, actually with Father Gregory of the Archdiocese, to talk about a new contest. The one that was mentioned earlier has existed in the Greek schools for some time. This one we're calling the Jarvis competition, after the American from New York who died during the revolution. And the concept is that it will be for grade levels 6 to 12, and teams of students in English will present multimedia presentations, hopefully here. And teachers from Greek schools will decide which ones are the best, and then there'll be a final presentation of them between 4 or 5 presentations, and we'll select one for middle schools and one for high schools for the Jarvis Award, which I believe will be a monetary award and maybe a plaque of some sort. So it's still in the development stage, has not been officially announced, and we actually are meeting with Father Gregory at 8 o'clock today to develop a flyer and start getting the information out. I just, from the previous presentation, I hear that the Consul General is distributing the essay contest. So maybe the Consul General can do something similar for the Jarvis Award and the multimedia presentations as well. I'm sure they'll be useful for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing I'd like to do is the following, okay? Because we're having, as we discussed, at every session that we're gonna have a lecture. And what we want to do is also link up with the schools when we talk to Father Gregory. And we want to go to the schools and give lectures to the students about some of the things that we're talking about here. Because many of the things that we're talking about, most people don't know. In the schools, most Hellenic people don't know. Most Americans don't know. So we want to get the message out. 205, 250, this is an important year. And we're doing fantastic so far. As John indicated earlier, even though the press wasn't here, but we'll give some press information. We're all set basically with the gala, okay, at Cipriani. We got our first check of $20,000, so everybody knows. We took photos, we'll send you the photos. And we're ready to go. We have all the categories and the information will go out soon. The information will go out with who also the grand marshals are going to be, which will be announced tomorrow at the organization, or the Hellenic Organizations event at the Hyotis Center. We will announce tomorrow who the grand marshals are in terms of individuals and who the grand marshals are in terms of the organizations. With that, I'd like to say that we also, besides finishing this floor over here, we finished the floor down below, and this place, we want to use it for different events, and we encourage everybody basically for these type of events, whatever events you want to have here. Now, let me see, did I do the?
Look, can I announce an event for next Saturday that we already booked the place downstairs?
Yes, please. Come on in.
Hello, guys. Did I give them 2 checks?
Καλησπέρα. Το επόμενο Σάββατο ο Σύλλογος Πατρινών Νέας Υόρκης έχει το 47ο Πατρινό Καρναβάλι στη Νέα Υόρκη. Οπότε όποιος έχει κέφι και θέλει να χορέψει και να έχει μια όμορφη βραδιά, σας προσκαλούμε να έρθετε με τα παιδιά, με την οικογένειά σας, θα έχει φαγητό, ναι, το επόμενο Σάββατο, 7 Φεβρουαρίου. Εντάξει, το κάνουμε πιο νωρίς να μην έχουμε αντιπαράθεση με τους καστοδιατρούς. Δεν πιστεύετε καν.
Here's what I'd like to say about that. Okay, what I'd like to say about that is this. If an event is happening, let us know. Let Stavro know. We'll put together something that sends it out to everybody, so everybody's aware of it. Not only your silver, but all the people are aware of it, because we want to link your events to the Federation. In other words, you're part of the Federation. We want to link all the events.
Create synergy.
Exactly. So we also finished the floor down below, which is an amazing feat. And we're going to also clean up this place because I don't like the way it looks, to be honest with you. It doesn't suit us as the great Federation of Hellenic Societies. With that, I will give the check to finish the floor down below. And let's take a photo of the other check. Here we go.
Should I come back?
Yes. Here we go.
This is for 3,445.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Of the amount? What do you say that? Vivo. Vamos
You forgot the floor downstairs and upstairs is a contribution from Lou Katsos. So,
The contribution is, forget about who it's from. We're going to fix up this place and make it what it should be, okay? Forget about the past, we're going forward. This place is gonna be fantastic. Thank you.
we're all behind you.
Yes. Get Stavro in here with a check for $20,000 so we can take pictures. Stavro, get Stavro.
One more time.
One more time. Stavro. Get Stavro with the check. No, the check is in.
Check is missing.
No, the check is there. Okay, so what do we have? The Gala is moving. The Bridging Revolution's boat event is moving. The journal is moving. The educational thing is moving. The Manto event is moving.
The gala is moving.
The Gala. Okay. Where's the check? Okay. Where's the people? Come here. Come here. Come here. Hold it.
Oh, you want the physical check?
No.
We're taking the same picture with the support.
No, we need to check. We need our finance man here to give the first check. Get the check. Now, Miki, can you do me a favor? Can you come up here? No, come up here. Come up here, Dimo. Come up. You stand on that side. Now, Miki, stand by me.
Where's the check?
The check.
It's coming.
Okay. Hold it. Who else we got? Hold on a second. Who else we need? Come here, my friend. Come on. You're the. Without you, nothing happens.
You don't want me to think.
All right. Let's do the check. The first check.
I'm going to be next to the Mickey, so that's good.
Bravo. Oh, there. Beautiful.
Hold it to the finger.
Bravo, bravo.
Okay.
Ora,
Here you go. Check. All right.
ora, vediamo.
No, I gave him the second. Dimitri, would you like to bring us up to date on anything you're doing?
Thank you, Lou. Kalispera, everyone. Well, today I talk with Miss from Thessaloniki, Greece, Parthena Masakidou, who is the lady that has, from a non-profit organization, 26 out of the 32 Evzons original, authentic stoles, authentic customs. And we're trying to bring them here. We're going to have a budget. We're going to have a conference with Lou. She's putting together a proposal, and we can exhibit this both at the Proxenio. We have mentioned this to the Consul General, Ms. Evgenia Kadaras, and also maybe at the Stachakio now that the place is fixed. There are going to be 4 people, including a curator that will be coming. They're going to stay just for 4 or 5 days, and we cover their expenses and the expenses of transporting the stoles and insurance also. So this is part of the cultural synergies that we create, because not many people know of the different customs of the revolution. And it's important since we celebrate 205, 250. And the other thing, besides the media, we can have more announcements on that, on the media and the communications next time. We have worked with George Jarvis from Brooklyn, who is part of our committee, to bring together the various community media, such as the Queen's Gazette, as the Brooklyn Papers, BronxNet, BrooklynNet, and various local organizations. Some of them we had in the past, like BronxNet and the Astoria Gazette. Now we're going to do it more official and create synergies and find some ideas to cover the additional cost. And also, we're working with George during the event that you mentioned, Lou, in Tea Room, to have some mainstream American media like Channel One, Daily News, perhaps the New York Times, but we're working with Daily News and Post for the time being. And also we're going to work with the younger generation and with people who are in the media, like Christina and Margarita. They have some ideas in order to enhance our message, because the message is 205, 250, and we're all united. Είμαστε ενωμένοι, είμαστε δυνατοί και θα έχουμε μια πολύ καλή παρέλαση. Ευχαριστώ.
In addition to that, as events coming up, we want all the different societies to use this facility. It's very important. One of the things that we did get is that the people from Messaloniki have a documentary, and I think we want to set up a separate event regarding Messaloniki. We're going to do a lecture with that and have it as a separate event from this particular event. But the concept is to get out the idea not only to Hellenes, but also Philhellenes. Dean has done a great job. He reached out to the Lord Byron Society, which is here in the United States. I spoke to their president, and the Lord Byron Society will join in the parade this year. They will be part of it. Dean also connected us with the Haitian parade, because we want the Haitians also to march with us. So there's a lot of things going on. We want, the Haitians were the first people to recognize the Greek Revolution, the first nation in the world. 1822. Exactly. So this evening's lecture was on Samuel Gridley Howe, as I mentioned. This month is the 150th anniversary of his passing. The lecture that somebody spoke here to a crowd of thousands that were seated here in this particular auditorium was excellent, if I have to say myself, and we will send a copy of it, obviously, to all the members. Now we're open for questions. Tonight is a little rough, as you know, between weather, between people being in Florida and all the rest of that. Now we're ready for questions. Any questions? Yes.
Two questions.
Yes.
There's a film about Capodistria.
Excellent.
Are we going to be showing that?
Which film? The one that came out, The Governor?
It was premiere here in Astoria.
No, we were part of the premiere, which was in November.
Will you bring it back?
No, that's now in the media. That's in the theaters right now. No, we had a large event that we were a part of. That was the first event, actually, that we had for this particular year's events. You had Yanis Smaragdis, who was the director, who was here. It was a great crowd, and it was really a great event. What's the second question?
We can't show it again. USS Constitution.
Beautiful.
Which is an important ship.
Yes.
Is that part of your naval event?
The U.S. as you know, the Constitution is in Boston.
Right.
Okay, so in terms of our event, you're talking about lectures or what?
No, in terms of the sailing event.
No. The USS Constitution is the most famous ship of the United States. It's more than a landmark. It's the most important ship. No, we're getting a ship. It'll hold about a maximum of about 150 people. Okay, I don't know if we want 150 people. It's by invitation only. It's not open to the public. You don't pay to go in. The costs are about a little bit less than $20,000. It's not a payment thing. Okay, it's something that we're going to do that has to do with what we call bridging revolutions, Elas and America. And what that event is about is to do, besides having dinner there, besides having, fun music and all the rest of that, the purpose of that is to do a ceremonial thing outside of the Statue of Liberty, okay, that relates to exactly what we're doing this year. This bridge between America, between Athena, let's say, and Lady Liberty. Okay, this is like one of the big deal events that we're having, but it's not, you cannot purchase a ticket for this. This will only be open to the benefactors, the people who buy tables of a certain amount, and the volunteers. The volunteers will absolutely be invited to this particular event. The same thing with the event that I'm having at the Russian Tea Room. It's going to be by invitation only. And it's going to be to the same type of people. We don't want to give open invitations to people who don't deserve it. Okay, we're not going to have lazy people, and there are lazy people around. We're not going to have lazy people to be invited. We don't care who they are, they will not be invited. Yes, another question. Any other questions? Feel free, we're open. This is such an exciting thing.
We might want to involve the USS Constitution in some way, because it's so famous.
Let me tell you what happened with the USS Constitution. Okay, I'll tell you what happened on the 200th anniversary of Greek independence. I was having conversations with people, I'm not going to mention who they are, major people, etc., and Hellenic American people. There was one of these people from Boston over there, and when we had the conversation, I mentioned the USS Constitution, I mentioned what it did in the Revolution, etc. He said, "This is fantastic," and he set up an event. Never bothered to invite us. Took all the credit as he created the event. So the answer is, I don't know what we can do with the USS Constitution except talk about it during the Revolution. We can talk about it, but that's federal government stuff. We're not going to do that. What I would have loved to happen, by the way, what I would really love to happen, which is not going to happen, is to talk to the Greek Navy. I think they control the ship. Do they control the ship? The ancient ship?
Olympias. The driving Olympias.
Okay.
It was at the.
We're going to reach out again to see if that ship, okay, will they allow it to come to the United States? And then what we have to do is reach out to some ship owner to pick up the ship, put it on a ship, and bring it in. Now, this is something that I had as an idea years ago, by the way. It's not going to happen, but it's great to think about it. We'll ask the question, but it would be really great. Imagine this, by the way. It comes in around the time of the Greek Revolution here that we're doing it. It stays in the United States to the 250th anniversary of America, going between Boston, New York, South Carolina, etc. What a fantastic thing. Will it happen? No. But that's but we can dream about it. Any other questions?
It's about $1 million because it was.
No, I know. I know.
In the past, Mr. Marinakis, Mr. Davis, and some other people.
No, I know.
And it is $900,000, approximately $900,000. It was 10 years ago.
No, I know.
And they discussed it, and the Navy was giving the initial permit, but with all the responsibility.
It's not going to happen, but it's great. It's a great thought, by the way. Any other questions? Any questions?
It's a great idea. I mean, the ship owners could do it easily. But
$1 million is a little tough. Any other questions? Okay. With that, again, we do it within the hour. Everything is beautiful. Thank you. I love you. What a fantastic crowd. I can't believe it.